All right, we are live. There we go. Folks getting notified. We will take a few minutes just to allow folks to get in. I want to make sure that the audio and video is working properly. We're going to. Hello, folks. Welcome to the live. Can y'all give me a thumbs up in the comments if y'all can hear me and everything's okay? Thank you for the likes that are coming in. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Loading up. There, lots of folks have joined. Uh, when y'all come in, please let me know where y'all are from. Make sure that we are. I'm trying to make sure that y'all can hear me and are recognizing. So when y'all come in, if you'll let me know where you're from, I see about 44 people that are popping in so far. We've got lots of folks coming. Um, let's see here. Let's see if my guest is here yet. Not seeing that just yet. Okay. All right, y'all. Go ahead and comment down below where you're from, and we'll get started here in just a minute. We're at 3:58. See, we've got Larry Legend, That One Country, SDCC Cow, user 47304, T Rev Larson, Michigan Outdoors. Shout out to, looks like Zach 8 Kano 09, Carlos Renderos, Greg Wood, K Margaret, Big Four, JRB 73, Matt Guerrera. Let's see here. Glama 2112. There we go. Detroit, the Motor City, from Texas down this way. So thanks for letting me know that we're working and we are good. We should be getting started with our guest here in just a moment, as soon as I see her come on. Y'all, my name is Russell. I help Gen Xers and others get started in affiliate marketing. Today, we're going to be talking about personal branding as it relates to our online entrepreneurship. And I've got a special guest that's going to be joining us in just a minute, who is Barb McGowan. She's one of my coaches, and so I wanted to spend some time with her and share this experience with y'all. So as soon as she pops on, we can get that conversation started. I'll do another formal introduction. So I've got Roxy that is from Detroit. Y'all let me know where you're from. I'm from Texas, south part of Texas. I say south. I'm in the southwest of Houston. So just to give you an idea. And so we've got folks popping in and out. Here we go. Set that. Hey, Barb, how are you?
Hey, what's up?
All right, now I've got to do the same thing for you, correct?
No, we're live.
We're good.
So,
Okay.
yeah, your audience can see us both. My audience can see us both.
Yay. There's Make
Yay.
Money with Dad, Philly. We have a score to settle. It was a great game. Your Phillies played incredibly well. You've got some great players on that team. I'm really glad that y'all gave us a run for our money. All righty. So we got Detroit, Philly, Texas. Barb, where are you at?
I'm in California.
California. All
Ooh.
right.
Where are you at?
I'm in Texas, just southwest of
Oh.
Houston.
Oh, okay. Is it cold
So,
there?
no, not at all.
No? Oh, wow.
No, it got up to 88 yesterday.
Oh, freezing. So I feel really
Yes.
bad for you. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, yeah, it's like 50 outside or 55 or something, and I'm just like freezing. I have a space heater like pointed at my feet, and so I'm weak.
that's okay. I would probably have a space heater if it was in the 50s here too.
Gosh, I didn't realize it. Does it normally stay that warm year round or?
Yeah, we have, it'll cool off around Thanksgiving. I mean, there have been years where I've had to wear a coat on Halloween, but those are few and far between, once every
Oh,
decade or
wow.
so. And
Okay.
then there have been years I've been able to wear surfer shorts on Christmas Day. It's been so
Oh,
warm
that's
outside.
wild. Okay, well, now
So,
I know where to come visit when I'm freezing myself to death in
yes.
the cold of
Um,
winter here.
Not in July
But
or August though, because we'll hit 105 plus degree temperature with 110% humidity, and it gets
yeah,
really
no,
rough.
I don't do that. Yeah, humidity is one thing I don't do. So, anyway, so shall we jump right in? Thanks
Sure,
everybody
well,
for joining. We got a bunch of folks over here. We're gonna be, well, I'll let you take the reins and tell folks what we're gonna be discussing and how it's gonna work and all that jazz.
sure. So I asked Barb to come on because of her expertise and just for an opportunity for us to have a learning time together, spend about an hour talking about personal branding and affiliate marketing. I've got a kind of a host of questions I'd like to ask and just kind of prompt the conversation. And then I'll be taking notes on my computer of the questions that the community has, and we'll ask those at the end. So if you do have a question, be sure and pop it in the comments, and we'll make sure that we leave time to get it answered. So Barb joined our team. Oh, I don't know. It's just been, it seems like it's just a few weeks now.
Yeah, a
And
couple weeks.
she's a bona fide six-figure affiliate marketer. She is a brand strategist and a market strategist. Or at least those are my terms that I would apply to her and her expertise. But
Sounds
Barb, would
about
you
right.
mind taking a minute to just kind of introduce yourself and give us a little bit of your story?
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, like you mentioned, a couple weeks ago, I joined the Passive Income Blueprints team. Um, Super excited. I love the vibe and the community in there. Um, but what kind of got me started my online journey was I used to be a teacher, which feels like a million years ago. I was working at a STEM nonprofit in the area where I live, and gosh, I mean the just like so many people, pandemic kind of changed the scope of my work, and I went from loving my job because I love teaching and coaching and mentoring, like that's just what gives me life and is kind of my jam, to that plus the work of five people, like administrative stuff. And we had to lay off a bunch of people. So then I was like five people in one: janitor, administrator, like writing, doing grant writing and budgets and spreadsheets and all this stuff that I hate. And so I know from, past jobs that I've held, past careers that I've worked, that if I get to a point of, kind of being so beaten down by this job that I didn't like, that I would lose the opportunity. Like I wouldn't have the energy to go figure something else out. So I'd just be stuck. And so, like any good millennial, I started looking on YouTube for ways to make money online because I felt like online uh, would give me some kind of flexibility. I could be my own boss and I could figure out what would work around my schedule. And I actually found this YouTuber who we're friends now on Facebook, which is so wild to me, because he was like a star in my eyes. But he was talking about how he was promoting other people's products and was actually telling his backstory. Like he was a card dealer at a casino in Minnesota, and he was also talking about how he was in recovery. He's a former heroin addict, and I'm in recovery too. And so everything he was saying was just really speaking to me. And he was just being vulnerable and sharing his story and kind of just opening the curtains behind, his kind of journey and making money online. And I was like, I remember thinking, if he can do it, I can do it. Like, this is just some regular dude. He's
Yeah.
not like some grand master of life or anything, just some card dealer in Minnesota that wanted to make a change. So that is kind of how I discovered affiliate marketing. And yeah, I jumped in, I started making content, and I didn't know what I was doing. Like so many people are afraid of making content because yeah, yeah, myself included, yourself included, probably some people, watching this. Um, but I kind of just looked around and I was like, okay, well, it looks like people are kind of just telling their stories, like why they're here on TikTok. Um, and that's really like that authenticity is something that was really important to me kind of from the beginning. Um, because there's only like one version of myself that I know how to be. And so I just started telling my story. Like, I'm here because I'm I'm tired of working this job that I love what I do, but I feel like I'm made for more, like more than just sitting at a desk and doing, you know, budgets and spreadsheets and writing grants, which was mind numbing. Um, and so I started to like learn how to create better content, better meaning more effective, that would get people to watch it instead of just
Right.
being horrible. And then getting people to take some kind of action, click a link, join my Facebook community, leave a comment, whatever. Um, so after, 5 or 6 months, I was able to quit my 9 to 5, which I was thrilled, and really able to pursue online business full time. And it shouldn't come as like a huge shock to anyone that I kind of gravitated to the realm of coaching because that's what I love to do. Um, and so then I went from just strictly doing affiliate marketing to affiliate marketing plus coaching. And I mean, something that I always tell people is if you can learn high income skills, actually be proficient at the skills behind, being a digital marketer, like it opens so many doors for you. It's not just like, okay, I'm going to copy and paste and never have to learn anything. I'm just going to copy answers and then I'll make money magically. If you focus on building the actual skills involved in digital marketing, I mean, the sky's the limit. Like you can create an offer because there's so much demand in that space for people with skill.
Right.
Anyway, that's why they're called high income skills. So, anyway, so that's kind of like the trajectory of like where I came from and what I'm doing now. And like I said, I just joined the PIB team, super excited, where you really get to focus on just coaching and being of service to people who are where I was at the beginning of last year. So very
Very
excited.
cool. Very cool. I did not know the recovery piece about you. And one of the things that attracted me to Eric is we both have a recovery background. So I've been
Oh,
clean
that's
since June
awesome.
5th of 97. And
Oh,
so
wow. Good
I
job.
feel kind of
Congrats.
a connection there. So, hey, if another recovering person can do it, surely I can,
Dude,
right?
oh, I swear. I feel it's funny because when I was in rehab, this was in 2000, beginning of 2017, like, as you're kind of coming out of that fog of, addiction, you start to realize how much you're overcoming. And now, obviously, having some perspective over that period of time, and I'm sure you can relate, it's like, if I can get through that, it makes content creation not that scary. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I have to like, I might look stupid in front of a bunch of strangers on the internet. No big deal. I've looked stupid in front of a bunch of people that I've, you know, kind of, when you're at rock bottom, like all my friends, all my family, they all know like the deep, dark secrets that I had. And so it doesn't really scare you to kind of bare your soul on the internet when you've gone through that. So if
Yeah.
you too are in recovery or, have ever gone through something hard, for goodness sake, it doesn't have to be some like, lifetime TV movie. If you've ever gone through some kind of struggle, overcome depression or any other kind of obstacle, I promise you, like entrepreneurship is just like an accelerated form of therapy, and it will help you continue to like grow and achieve things that you didn't even think that maybe you could achieve. And it just will build your confidence. And that's like one of the biggest gifts I think that entrepreneurship brings. So if you're watching and are, in that boat, like you're in the right place.
Absolutely. I'll do a shout out real quick to Robert, to John, to Kim, and to those others who have joined us recently. Hey, if y'all will smash the like button, I think it's going to be my face on this one. I don't know if it's mine or Barbara's, but smash one of the faces and get the likes out there. It'll push this out to more people. Because I'm going to jump into the meat now. I'm going to twist us to personal branding, Barb, and then I'm going to come back to affiliate marketing towards the end. The other thing I'll let everyone know is that if you've got questions, go ahead and type them in the chat. I'm making notes of them on my computer, and we'll make sure that we get your questions answered as well. So, Barb, the big deal is with personal branding. How do we define it? What actually is it?
Yeah, I love that question. I think probably the best way of thinking about it is like we all have a personal brand, like whether you want to have one or not. And it's kind of just what other people think about you, like what's the vibe you give off? What kind of traits or characteristics or, tone do you portray to other people? Um, and it's funny, like I've had people message me and they're like, "Oh, I'm just going to start, creating content and then I'll figure out my personal brand in like 6 months." And I'm like, trust me, by that time you will already have a personal brand, because if you're out there creating content, um, or even just existing in real life as a person, like, think of your, I don't know, your boss. Like if you work at a 9 to 5 and you have a boss, I'm thinking of my old boss. His personal brand was very like, um, he was, soft spoken and positive, but also a micromanager, and just wasn't really, didn't really see like the big picture. Um, but he was a super nice person, super personable. You know what I mean? So like, even if you're not online, even if you're not creating content, people think things of you. And so it's what you communicate to other people through your content in this case, because we're here creating content and, starting an online business. But that's really what your personal brand is. And so, like if when people watch your content, do they feel like, what do they feel? Or what can they glean from the things you're saying, or the tone, or how you're saying it? Like that's all like wrapped up in your personal brand. And so it's like basically just what people can assume about you based on what they see on TikTok or Instagram or whatever platform.
Okay, so then if you had to fill in the blank, a personal brand is not blank, what would you fill in the blank with?
Oh gosh. A personal brand is not whatever product you're promoting, whatever business you run, like whatever service you're selling. It's you as a person, brandified, if you will. So it's not um, it's not the product or service that you're here on TikTok to sell or to promote. It's literally you as a person, like allowing people to get to know, like, and trust you and get to know you, um, versus just know all the facts and figures about the product or the service that you offer.
Okay, so why is that important for entrepreneurs, be it affiliate
Girl,
marketers, small businesses that are online, whatever the case may be? Why is that important for us?
oh my goodness. Because people buy from people and not logos, you know? That's actually like a paraphrasing a quote from this book called Bee by Jessica Zweig. Oh my goodness, go get it. It's on Amazon. You can get the audiobook. But if you want to know, like, basically my whole philosophy on personal branding, it's that book. It's so crazy. A client of mine recommended that book to me, and then I read it and I was like, oh, so now I feel vindicated. All the stuff that I've been telling people, it's like, like probably the one of the top personal branding experts in the world also corroborates this. So, um, but why it's so important is, think of if you are watching content, like if you're scrolling on TikTok and somebody's like, "Hi, I'm here to sell you this product. Here are all the things about it. It's 7 inches tall and it comes in a box, and, like whatever. Those are features. Nobody cares about that. That doesn't evoke emotion. What evokes emotion is me watching that YouTube video with that guy that I didn't know, had never met, but him bearing his soul and saying, "You know what? This is my journey, and I was in recovery, or I'm in recovery. I'm a recovering addict, and this is my story." Like, that is relatable and personal. And so when you allow other people into that part of you, you become someone that can be known, someone that can be liked, and someone who can be trusted. And that's kind of, it's just like going on a date. Like, I always use the dating analogy when it comes to like building a personal brand. But imagine you go on a date and, like, you, Russell, you go on a date with some gal, and the first thing that she says, before she even like shakes your hand or gives you a hug or whatever, is, "Hey, will you buy my dinner?" Go ahead and, like, you'll buy my dinner, right? Like, and my drinks. If that's your first, right, you're gonna like turn right around and like walk out the door. But
Uh,
that's how it is when you get on TikTok, and the first thing out the gate is you start talking about the product you're promoting. My goodness. Like, do you see like why that's just wild? Like, allow people to get to know you first. I know that sounds like so cheesy, but it's absolutely true. Um, so if you're an entrepreneur selling something, and you get to share why you're even here, why you care, like, so here's an example. If I'm if I flash back to when I first started creating content, I would tell people, my goal is to leave my 9 to 5 job within a year. And here's why it's important to me. I feel like I'm made for more. I want to do something bigger and better with my life. Like I have a purpose beyond just sitting at a desk. You know what I mean? And this is truly my belief, and this is something that I would talk about in my content when I was, first starting out, is I think that's true of everyone. Like, what are the odds that every single person, our calling in life is the freaking 9 to 5 that we work?
Right.
Like, what are the odds? So, more than likely, like, it's probably true for everyone that we were all made for something bigger and better than what we're doing at a 9 to 5. That's why it feels soul crushing for so many of us. Not everyone, but that's why we feel disengaged. We feel disillusioned, disenchanted, and disconnected when we are working at these jobs that we hate. And so, in sharing that my journey is not just to help me get out of the thing I hate, but to show you how you can do it too, because that's important to me. Like that is that's so much more compelling when I say, hey, if you want help, click the link, join my Facebook group, or this is how I started. Click this link and you can watch more, get more information on it. You know what I mean? Now the person watching has context, and it's not like, it doesn't seem disingenuous because it's not just, hey, click the link and buy this thing, buy my dinner, buy my drinks. It's, okay, now I understand why she's here and why she's going on this journey and why she's telling us about it, or me, the viewer. And so now they're more likely to reach out for help, build a relationship with you, or click the link in your bio and buy that thing. But it makes more sense to them, and they have an understanding of what makes you tick and what's motivating you to try to get them to take a certain action. And so when they feel like it's a even like give and take, and it's not one-sided, like I don't care about you, just go buy this thing, like that's a turnoff to everyone.
Right.
But if people understand like your motivation behind why you're even telling us about this thing, that's the difference. So hopefully that was, I don't feel like I articulated that super clearly, but hopefully that makes sense.
Oh no, I think that was great. And the dating analogy is absolutely spot on. I mean, it would just be red flags all over the place. And
Right?
so, um, one of the folks that I don't want your head to get too big, but I look to you for that inspiration on how to be more authentic and transparent and be the personal brand to live who you are. Just simply because you've been doing it more in the space and you're very comfortable with it, and I think it's fantastic. I'm still finding my own voice, I think, some days.
Mm.
But if someone came to you and said, "Can you name some personal brands that we might know or that we should follow for inspiration?" Now, let me be clear, especially to my community that's watching on my end. I'm not talking about a cut and paste mentality. We don't do that. We want authenticity and integrity and transparency in our content. But if we're going to look for a guide, if you will, who might we look
Mm.
to even beyond you?
Oh yeah. I mean, a couple that come to mind are Gary V. So like
Mm,
I made a TikTok video about this, I don't remember, months ago. But Gary V, he's a huge marketing dude. Everybody loves him. He loves to go like yard sailing and, flip things that he finds at yard sales, which is awesome. But he's like the head of VaynerMedia. VaynerMedia, at the time that I made this TikTok, which was months ago, had like 4,000, 3,000 followers on TikTok. And Gary Vee has like millions. I don't remember what the number is, but millions of followers. He is the personal brand behind his business, which is VaynerMedia. Do you know what I
mm,
mean? So, anyway, so people, again, gravitate to people. We gravitate to stories and emotions, and not what can this business do for me? Like, here are the facts and figures of what they do. Nobody cares about that. I mean, not really. But anyway, so Gary Vee is a great example. Rachel Peterson is another example. Um, and she has her company. I can't remember what it's called, but then she's also her personal brand, which is just her, Rachel Peterson. Um, those are a couple that really stand out. I know that they're on TikTok. Jessica Zweig, which is the author of that book B that I mentioned. I don't think she's on TikTok, but I know that she's on Instagram. So
okay.
um, hopefully
Yeah,
that,
those are some great folks.
yeah.
Um, I'm looking at this question. It might be a little redundant, but it also might hit home in a different way. So I'm going to go ahead and ask it anyway. we've talked about some of the attributes or what a personal brand is. What would you say makes a good personal brand?
Hmm. Oh, that's juicy. Authenticity for sure. Um, clarity, like clarity in your messaging and how you communicate. Showing up as your best self. And by that, I don't mean hiding mistakes that you make or hiding flaws and faults that you have. By that, I mean showing up as your best self. This isn't another analogy that I was talking to with somebody in the 12-day masterclass the other day, but it's like when you're a teenager and your parent asks you, "Oh, how was your day? Like, how's the day you had at school?" You're just like, "Oh, it's fine. It was good. Yeah, it was boring. Whatever." You know.
Hmm.
But if your crush walks by and they're like, "Hey, how's it going? Like, how was your day?" All of a sudden, you're your best self, your most energetic, like attentive self, confident, like whatever. But you're going to answer that question like, "Oh, it was great. Like, here's what I did. I ate lunch with Carol and Susan and whatever." But you're still the same you. You're not being fake. You're not being somebody else, but you're the best version of you because you care about that relationship, you know? Um, and anyway, so I would say authenticity, clarity, showing up as your best self. Um, and I know that this is kind of intangible, so maybe it won't make sense, but hopefully it will. But I think that doing like creating content and showing up as the best version of your current self, but with the through the lens of like you're on this journey of getting from wherever you are currently, like here's your current self, which is fine. Like wherever you are currently, that's who you want to capture. But going from wherever you are now to wherever you're trying to get to. So always having that forward thinking, like looking for the ways that you're developing and improving and gaining confidence or gaining authority and expertise in whatever it is that you're trying to pursue, and then documenting that. So kind of having like that, um, like I'm working on these things or these habits or these traits within myself, and then documenting that for other people to see. So there's a record of it. You know, you go from looking like a deer in the headlights, which is how I looked in my early content, to just being more relaxed and confident and authoritative, and also just having fun and being energetic, you know? Anyway, so those four things. I hope that was
Okay. No, I think that's
clear.
fantastic. Um, I think we just got a major nugget that I don't know if everybody caught it. I'm going to reiterate it maybe a little differently, but the part about I try to put my words to it. Um, this you're on the journey, right? And you're sharing
Mm-hmm.
your journey with others. We struggle so much with content creation. What do we have for content? Well, what am I struggling with today? You know, today I'm struggling with the fact that I had to go to Best Buy to buy a new stand for my phone so I could do this and get back in time to turn it on time because I
That's
broke
funny.
the one doing content yesterday.
Wow, what
So it's
kind of
just like,
content are you doing that you're breaking your props?
I don't know. It just that's what happened. I had, in fact, here it is. Um, so the fact that content creation we may overcomplicate it sometimes. That the struggle is real.
Mm-hmm.
Equipment breaks, and this is what we deal with today, and we
Yeah,
show up and we suit up and we get it going. Um,
totally.
y'all are being too funny about me being dressed up in jungle rustle. I'm not real sure what to make of that, but that's just my friends from our community, and I'm appreciative of y'all. Kim and John, y'all keep it up. Hey, if y'all will hit the like button and push this out to some more folks, we've got about another 30 minutes or so of, I think, juicy nuggets. So I'm going to keep on trucking. Um,
And before we do
let's,
that,
oh,
hi to
yeah.
everyone that's saying hi over here. I'm sorry that I don't want you to think we're ignoring you. There's a lot of
No,
folks from the PIB fam and others just saying encouraging words. So thank you
oh,
and hi.
well, hi back. I'm sorry I can't see it. That's, I guess, the downfall of having it two sides like that. But yes, hi back, and we're glad that you're with us. And I appreciate the love, all you folks. It looks like Tyrone is there as well. Thank you all. So for us that are newer at this. I mean, I'm about 30 days into my journey with PIB, but I had 60, 75 days before that that was less successful. We'll just leave it at that. And a longer history even beyond that. Um, for us that are beginning as affiliate marketers or online entrepreneurs, do you have other go-to tips for developing our personal brand for the very first time? I mean, I think
Oh
you've
my
hit on
gosh,
what makes a good one. In case somebody's just joining in, maybe this is a different way to look at it.
dude, totally. Um, so one free resource. Well, number one, read that book B by Jessica Zweig. I think her last name is Zwieg. It's on Amazon, wherever books are sold, so that you can really understand like uh, what even is a personal brand and start to work on your own and think about your own like what is it that I want to convey? Like what's my purpose for being here? Not just here on TikTok, but like here on this earth, trying to do this thing that I'm trying to do. So that's a great resource. Um, Number two, you could check out my free personal branding course, which is in my Facebook group, which is linked in my bio. Um, Number three, and we sort of talked about this a little bit, but it's like you have to do a little bit of soul searching, I think. Like you really have to think about like here's a good example. I once had a client and I was asking him like why are you here? Like why are you trying to make money online and be successful with online business? And he was already very successful, but he wanted to like take it to the next level. And he was like, "Well, I want to be able to stay home with my son. Like I want to be able to work from home." I'm like, "Duh. That's everybody's answer. Like give me more than that. Like you need to do a little bit go a little bit deeper." And anyway, I kept asking him why because he'd give me some kind of variation of, "Oh, I want to be able to do this and I don't want to have to pay for a babysitter." And anyway, we got down to like the bottom layer of his answer and he started to cry. And he was like, "Because my dad had to work outside the house and I never saw him and I didn't have a relationship with him and he's gone now. And I don't want that for my son." Do you know what I mean? And so
Yeah,
when you can really get in contact with that part of you, like the part of the thing that makes you feel something, whether that's despair or sadness or rage or elation, whatever. But there's something oh gosh, there's a Sia song that I don't know if Alex is still watching, but she can appreciate. But there's a Sia song, if you don't know her, she's this fabulous musician, but she has a song that says, "There's a scream inside that we all try to hide." And basically, she's talking about like we all have this thing that we want to do. And then the thing that's stopping us, or the thing that's telling us that's too scary, that's too dangerous, whatever. But as that relates to your personal brand, just to bring it all back around,
right.
like you really have to look at why you're doing this and make it not about just you, but make it about the people you're serving, the people you're helping, your audience. And the reason I say that, which it's like what I just care if people buy my thing. I just want them to be, click on my link. I don't care about them. If you change your attitude from, and I know this sounds hippie, but if you can change your attitude from how can other people serve me? How can my audience serve me and make me money? If you switch it to how can I be of service to the most people and impact people so that they can change their lives? It's like going to be night and day for you. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
think about people who struggle with having conversations with other like potential customers, right? They're like, what do I say? They have no idea. They're frozen because really the end goal that they have in their mind is I just want them to be a paying customer and buy this thing. If you switch it to how can I solve this person's problem? Now it's like a paradigm shift that happens and you'll be able to have a conversation with them easily because you're not focused on how do I get them to like how can I manipulate this conversation to get them to buy this thing? It's how can I solve all their problems? And it might not be by buying this thing, you know, but that's how you build that relationship with that know, like, and trust. Maybe they'll become a paying customer 6 months from now. Maybe they'll tell somebody about you and they'll become a paying customer. You don't know, but it's not your job to know. It's only your job to control the things you can control. And that means like how you can serve people the best. I know that's not like super um again, it's kind of hippie to say that, but um, anyway, so when you're building your personal brand, again, to bring it back, you really have to think about, like, get to a point within yourself where it's not just about you. And that takes a lot of soul searching because so many people are so miserable. And that's what brings so many people to wanting to make money online and want to become an entrepreneur. But so many people are so miserable that they would throw anyone else under the bus so that they don't have to go through that pain anymore. And you have to be able to step out of that desperation into, okay, I'm building something, it's going to take a while, and I have to be of service to people and help people without any paycheck that comes every 2 weeks, like clockwork, that's going to reinforce me. Like, I have to just do this in good faith, work on skill building, and then just hope and, not hope and pray, but trust that this process is going to pay off. You know what I mean? Um, anyway, so you can go to therapy, you can go to rehab, or you could just do a lot of soul searching yourself and just consume self improvement content and consume content that's going to make you think about who you are and why you are the way you are and how you can be of service to other people. So hopefully that answers the question. Probably
Yeah.
not in the most concise way, but
Oh no, I think it's great. I mean, it reminds me of the principles I learned early in recovery. If you want to keep it, you got to give it away.
yes,
And
yes,
that's really fascinating to try to apply that in a way that is at a whole different level than I've applied it the last 25 years of sobriety. So that's
dude.
pretty cool.
It's so crazy. Oh my gosh, how much recovery applies to, I mean, not just everything, but especially to entrepreneurship. I made a TikTok about this. So this was probably back last March, I think. So I'd been making content for like a couple months or month and a half. But I made a piece of content about, 5 things that I've learned in recovery that are true for entrepreneurship too. One of them being like control what you can control and then let the results go because you can't control those. But yeah, I don't need to go off on another tangent, but let's just say, yeah, if you're in recovery, you should be an entrepreneur. The show.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Making money with Gigi, or it says make money with Gigi. I'm sorry. She asks, what advice would you give when we lose motivation, especially when you aren't seeing success? I think
Mm,
we all get to that place at some point, probably multiple times if you do the business long enough. And so, what advice would you offer?
yeah, that's another juicy one. I'm going to try to keep my thoughts straight. I like to go off, I don't think in a linear fashion, so, but I will try to answer it in a linear fashion. There's this book called Succeed, one of the two, by Heidi Grant Halverson. Highly recommend it. Um, but in the book, she talks about kind of the balance between needing to focus on long-term goals and immediate goals and the importance of like being able to switch between the two for different circumstances. Anyway, highly recommend the book. But when you lose motivation, and girl, I have been there. If anyone says they haven't been there, they're lying. But when you feel beat down and you're unsure, like uncertain if this whole thing is going to pay off, what I do is I have to take a break. I usually go for a walk and think of, like, why am I doing this? And again, it's never just the surface answer of why. Oh, I want to be able to work from home. It's never just that. Why do you want to be able to work from home? You know,
Right.
um, but really getting to that root thing that will reignite you. And also, there's something to be said for taking time off. Like, it's a lot to be producing 3 to 5 pieces of content every day on TikTok. It's a lot. Like,
Hmm.
but there's something to be said for taking time off, being off of your phone, off of technology altogether, and like getting out in nature, reading, like reading an actual book, not listening to an audiobook, not watching, whatever, but getting back in contact with like yourself. And yes, that means you have to take a step back from your business, take one step back so you can take 3 steps forward. Um, that's A. B, I think it is imperative that you surround yourself with other people who are in like on the same path, on the same journey as you. Like our spouses, our families, they're wonderful and supportive, and but it's like they don't get it necessarily, you know? Like unless you're an entrepreneur, unless you are doing these things and running into these roadblocks and obstacles and having to figure out how to overcome them, your family and friends, they probably don't understand. That's why you need to make connections with people. I'm still friends with people. I'm like probably the people I talk to the most are the friends that I have who are other marketers, other online business owners, you know? And that's because we have more in common than me and, my friends from college or whatever. So I think it's imperative to find a good community that is going to support and uplift you. I just realized my moccasin has like a hole in it, and no wonder my foot's cold. Um, but that who will support and uplift you, and that you can vent to, who will get it and they'll empathize, but then they'll push you to get over that thing, or they'll have a suggestion for you to get through that. Um, because it's especially for women, maybe it's true for men. I'm not a man, I don't know. But women, I feel like especially we need that community. We need that accountability, that support, that sounding board to make sure if you're doing something new or putting yourself out there for the first time or whatever, so you don't feel crazy. You're like, oh, okay, my homegirls, they said this is legit. They said, yeah, go ahead and do it. That's a great idea, whatever. But that's the benefit of having a community of people that know what you're going through and can be like, girl, we've been there. You're stuck on content, you're stuck on your funnel. I was there too a month ago. Here's how I did it. Here's how I got over that or got through that. So,
Yeah, and sometimes just the community. She says, my family does not understand. Yeah, most of our families don't understand. Some of our families think that we're crazy. Some of our
mm-hmm.
families think that
Yeah.
we've lost our ever loving mind.
Mm-hmm.
Are we using again? I had that question come from a friend.
That's
No,
so
I'm
funny.
not. Um, but I won't speak for all guys, but I'll speak for this guy. And we're in the same boat. So it was only about 7 days ago. And I'm going to shout out and say hi to Eric. Eric popped on. I don't know if he's still here, but let's go. We're going, Eric. We're going to get this done. And say hi to Wilson as well, folks.
Uh-oh. I lost. Can you hear
I have
me?
these views.
Oh.
I have, yes. Am I back?
Oh no, yes, you're back. We're good.
Okay. I had somebody try to call in. I forgot to put it on Do Not Disturb. See, the things we learn.
Gotcha. I know.
um, so anyway, I was just in this very dark place, and I reached out to Robert, one of our uh, he's our tech coach as far as I'm concerned, and has helped me with some
Mm-hmm.
a variety of things. And I just needed some encouragement. I needed to know I wasn't crazy. And sometimes when you're in the middle of it, you can't see the forest for the trees, and having somebody on the outside looking in that's watched you for, 10, 20, 30 days, 3 months, 6 months, they can provide a perspective and an insight and some encouragement that is just, I mean, it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So surrounding yourself by like-minded people is hugely important. And yes, Robert is great. We love Robert to death.
Yeah, he's a
Um,
savage.
a savage. I like that
By
word.
art.
Let's see. Yes, Barb is dropping gold bars right and left. I told y'all didn't want to miss this. All right, so here's an interesting twist on the conversation we're having.
All
I
right.
am an 8 on the Enneagram. I'm a challenger.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
I
Okay.
am
Did we just become best friends?
maybe. I'm
Oh my gosh.
also type A personality, extrovert on the Myers-Briggs scale. So
Mm-hmm.
this is me. I am usually outgoing, needs lots of social interaction, which is another reason why the
Interesting.
community is good for me.
Yeah.
But when it comes to personal branding, is
Mm-hmm.
there a difference in advice, or would you have different suggestions for introverts
Oh
versus
gosh.
extroverts? Twos versus eights.
So, oh gosh. I'm a 4 and I'm
Okay.
very introverted. Like, oh my gosh. Like I love my partner, but I need so much alone time. I'm like, babe, I love you, but go away. Like, yeah, I so relate to people who reach out to me and they're like, I'm an introvert. I'm shy. I don't want to show my face. Number one, I get it. I'm an introvert. I think there's still a way that you can do content. Like, okay, introverts, we need to recharge. Like, our battery gets drained by being around people, right? But when you are creating content and you are talking to your phone, are you around people? I'm just saying. You're really just talking to that little hole on your phone when you're creating content. So I would challenge anyone who is like, oh, I can't make content or I can't show my face, I can't build a personal brand because I'm an introvert. I want you to think about if that's actually true or if that's a limiting belief that you're putting in place so that you can't move forward because you are saying this is going to be too hard or this goes against who I am as a person.
Yeah.
Because trust me, I would say I'm a well compensated introvert, meaning I can gain energy to an extent from being around other people or having conversations with people. But after this, I'm gonna go lay down. I'm not gonna lie. But like while we're doing it, I'm enjoying it and like having a blast. Um, but I think that there is, oh gosh, I don't know if she's watching, but maybe she'll watch this later. But I had a conversation with this gal who was in the 12-day master class just the other day, and she's like, I'm super introverted and I'm shy and quiet and all this stuff. Her content is fire. Like,
Mm.
and again, going back to the idea that you don't have to have a conversation with a real life person. You control the narrative, you control the flow, everything when you're creating content. And it kind of goes back to showing up as your best self, just like you would go to a job interview, like if you're an introvert, you can have a job, you can go perform well in a job interview. Or oh gosh, when I was in high school, I played basketball. I was the best player on the team. I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want to be perceived. I didn't want people to look at me, but they would because I'd be playing basketball. Um, all of that said, going back to the job interview thing, you can be an introvert and still go be your best self at an interview and present your best self and be, articulate and well spoken and friendly and energetic. And unfortunately, as introverts, that's the world that we live in. I think most people, isn't it true that most people are extroverts? I think I heard that statistic somewhere, and I'm like, it's mind boggling how there's so many people with that much energy out there in this world. But we live in an extrovert's world. And so
Right.
I think there's a way that you can interact with people on TikTok or, online and still protect your need to recharge. But I think that in part is figuring out like a system or a process or a schedule or whatever that works for you. Because I can tell you what I do and what I have done in the past, but I kind of learned that through trial and error. And I think that is probably true for a lot of people. Like I can, you can take suggestions, but ultimately you need to figure out what's going to work for you, but still with you pushing yourself to become the best version of you, if that makes sense.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, we're talking to a whole, I know that you're there. I know that we've got other people on both sides that are interacting and watching. And I'm still, when we're done, I'm not looking for a nap. I'm looking for flesh and blood. I'm looking for somebody I can say, hey, what's up? Let's give a high five. We
That's
succeeded.
so
We got
funny.
through it. The technology worked, all was good. I want to go back. I think it was Tyrone that asked on the what. I don't know which what you're talking about, but the number scale is the Enneagram.
Mm.
There's information about it.
Enneagram.
You can do,
EnneagramInstitute.com.
there you go.
And actually, if
Um,
you do my free personal branding course that lives in my Facebook group, there's a whole like section on figuring out your Enneagram type. So,
so over the years in corporate America and in ministry, I've had to do disc profiles, Enneagrams, Myers-Briggs tests,
mm,
the vector test. There's all sorts of them. They just tell
yeah.
you a lot about how you're hardwired and how you interact with other people, especially when the hardwiring of other people is different. It's a great coaching tool. So
Hmm.
that's where that came from. Let me scroll through here and see if I missed something else. Thank you all for the likes and for the gifts, and for joining us. Meme all flesh and blood. Yes, I have to have real people. I won't be drained. I'll be so charged up, people will start running from me because I want to have so much interaction with them.
That's so
Um,
funny.
but that's, the beautiful part about this, Barb, is that it works for both of us, right? Introvert, extrovert,
Hmm.
doesn't make any difference. We may
Yeah.
come at it a little differently, but it doesn't make any difference. Let's
Yeah.
see. Any, I am a helper on the Enneagram. Oh, that's good to know.
That's the two, right?
Making money with Gigi. Yeah.
Mm.
All right.
And it's funny because eights go to two in growth. And what do you do in disintegration at five?
I have to look. It's either 5 or 6. Yeah, with stressors.
Yeah.
All right. So let me think here. Oh, yeah, this is important. We spend a lot of time, and I say we. I currently spend a lot of time in TikTok because I'm trying to master one platform before I start going across other platforms. I've heard it said that the different platforms have sometimes different audiences and sometimes different metrics and things that they're trying to go after. With that being said, if there's some truth to that, how do you maintain your personal brand across platforms that have different targets or desires? Is there anything we need to know about that?
Yeah, that's such a good question. Um, yeah, because it's like TikTok especially, and I think why I love it so much, it's definitely my favorite platform to create content on. But it's TikTok is so much about like being in the moment and being authentic and goofy and quirky, just literally being yourself versus Instagram. I'm not the biggest fan of, to be honest. I'm sorry out there for anyone that loves Instagram, but I feel like Instagram is a more curated kind of aesthetic
Hmm.
platform, and that's what's popular on there. Um, I would say, I mean, unless you're someone like Gary Vee or Rachel Peterson, you're like, if you're making, like, we don't even need to put a dollar amount on it, but like, if you're where we're at, like anyone that's probably watching this, including me and you, Russell, I would say it's more about getting your content in front of more people in different platform on different platforms, um, and adhering to kind of the conventions of like hashtags and captions that differ from place to place. I think that's probably the thing that's different or the thing that's going to be most relevant to most people, um, versus your actual content itself. Like I'm not going to go create one video on TikTok and then go re-record something else in a different style on
Okay.
Instagram. You know what I mean? Um, but I think if you get to a certain level, like a Gary Vee or a Rachel Peterson, those people are probably going to create content differently because there is a different audience on Instagram with different there's a different culture and different etiquette and expectations versus on TikTok where it's very much like I mean we all know how TikTok is kind of the wild west, in a sense, but I think for most people just showing up as your authentic self, your best self, and being clear about who you are, why you're here, and who you're here to serve. I think that is what really translates regardless of platform. And that you don't have to, I mean, look at, I'm wearing, you can't see, but it's like a snuggie, but you don't have to be this like Instagram model with like your dog in a bag standing in front of a Lamborghini. You know what I mean? I think it's
Right.
more important that you are authentic, you provide value, whether that's education, entertainment, inspiration, whatever. um, I think that's far more important than trying to like fit in with the culture and the aesthetic of whatever platform.
Okay. Cool. Um, y'all, we're at about the 10-minute till mark, so I'm just going to throw that out there. I've been trying to keep up with the questions as we go. If you are on my end or if you're on Barb's end, Barb, I don't know if you have any questions going on over there, but if y'all have questions, be sure and put them in the chat. Otherwise, I've got a couple of more for her and we can keep on going.
Let's see. Um, I don't think I don't think I have any questions. If you guys do have questions on my side, please put it in the chat and we will address them.
Alrighty,
Thanks, Mike Mac.
let's see here. So I had a question I didn't write down that came to me. Um, we talk about focus and we talk about kind of being all in on one niche or one product. And there's still folks that are out there from various programs and including ours that take a broader brush approach to it. How important is a hyper focus on a singular product or niche related to your personal brand and connecting with your audience? Does that question make sense?
Yeah. I think that the thing that's the most important is like the product is almost secondary, right?
Right.
Like, so I think what's more important is kind of your mission, if you will. So like when you start creating content on TikTok, what is it that you're trying to accomplish and why? And why are you sharing it with an audience? And I think that, like, for example, when I first started on TikTok, I was um I was on my journey to quit my 9 to 5 job within a year. And that was my mission. And along the way, learning how to not just help myself do that, but help other people to do that too. And so that was my mission. Like that's why I was on TikTok. That's what I was doing here. And the why behind it, like we kind of already talked about, because I believe that we are all here to figure out the thing that we're supposed to be doing on this earth, which is not working at a freaking 9 to 5 that kills our soul. Anyway, I digress. But as you're sharing that experience and that journey through your content, the product that you're promoting it's like a complement to your mission, you know? And so like I started off by promoting, you know, XYZ thing. Over time that might change. Like over time, my mission was always the same, is helping people
Gotcha.
reach those goals, right? And so eventually I started to not so much promote the thing that I started, but promoting when I first started on TikTok, but I really started inviting people into my Facebook community, and eventually I launched my own coaching offer. But that was still in line with my mission, that was still in line with like who I was and why I was here. And so it's like you might find another product or another service that you want to promote down the road that is superior to whatever you started with. Like that's going to progress over time as you learn and grow as a person too.
Right.
And so I feel like the product may change over time, and that's not a big deal as long as it's aligned with who you are and what your values are and like what it is that you're doing here. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah. So I think that's totally helpful. Before I miss it and forget it, I think is that Abby? I think that's Abby. She wants to know what your favorite sandwich is. She won't tell me the reason, but she has a reason for that question.
I feel like this is some tricky personality thing. I'm a plain type of gal. I like turkey and cheese.
Turkey and
Yes.
cheese.
When I used to live in San Francisco, I'd take the bus to Trader Joe's. I would get in and out in like 15 minutes because I had to get the next bus or I had to wait for like 30 minutes. I would take my Trader Joe's like little bag home. I would get Milton's bread, fire. If you have not had Milton's bread, it's wheat bread, but it's so good. It's like candy. Anyway, turkey, cheese, microwave it for 30 seconds, put some ranch on it, bam. I literally ate one like every day. Never got old, ever. I'm very basic.
All right. So I hope the money marketer caught that. Okay.
She's
Mima
judging
wants to
me. It's
know.
fine.
No, Mima wants to know what kind of cheese, and she says stinky cheese, please. What kind of stinky cheese did you put
That's
on that
so funny.
sandwich?
Pepper jack.
Pepper jack.
I love,
Nice.
yeah, I
A
love
little
pepper jack, Colby jack, anything like that. But pepper jack's my fave.
something's got a little kick to it. Man, we are kindred spirits in some things. I like that.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so I'm going to take us away from sandwiches for just our final question, I think, unless I'm good on time. Are you good on time for one more?
Yeah.
Um, I've in all the promotion for this to get folks some free training and some free nuggets. I kept telling them that you're a bona fide six-figure affiliate marketer, which is true. It's the absolute truth. Why that's important to me is because I want to learn from somebody that has been there and has done that. And, our coaches have coaches and we all understand that. But for those of us that are newer in the space, or maybe we've been here for a while, what are your top, as it relates to affiliate marketing, what are your top 5 tips for success?
Gosh, that is such a, I feel like that's so hard to quantify or boil down to 5 things. Um, Number one, probably above all else, recognize that this is a journey of learning and development. So, not just learning high income skills, which is definitely part of it. And the more proficient can become at the skills behind affiliate marketing, the better off you're going to be long term. Um, but learning and development in terms of skill, but also in terms of self self development. So, again, becoming that higher version of yourself as you go from wherever you're starting to wherever you're trying to get to, whatever that goal is, you have to become a higher version of yourself to get there. Otherwise, you would get there already because you'd
Right.
be capable of it. But so I think that's number one. So always have that focus of like everything is a learning experience, everything is just feedback to help you improve. Um, Number two, I think again we kind of touched on this, but having the importance of having a community. So, and that kind of supports that number one. Um, Number three, I feel like this is just kind of a recap of stuff we talked about, but I guess that's good. Um, is I I feel like there's a really like definitely a need for consuming information, like learning. You have to read, you have to watch videos, you have to do whatever, but also balancing that with implementation and taking action, so that you're not just constantly in learning mode where you could be, a PhD in affiliate marketing, but never have made a dollar. So learn and then take imperfect action. Like it doesn't matter if it sucks. We're gonna suck. Like we're all gonna suck sometimes. That doesn't mean you should quit or you're not cut out for this or you're stupid. It doesn't matter. Like it's all just feedback so that you can learn and iterate. Um, I think those are like, I know that's not 5 things, but I think those are kind of like the main core items that I would really want to like highlight and like elevate so that people can kind of let that marinate in your mind. Um, it, like it sounds so probably cheesy, but it's such a mindset thing. And having the mindset of, I'm going to suck at this at first, maybe you'll be one of those people that's like the 0.1% that is fantastic the moment that they first get on TikTok. But for the rest of us that are normal humans, um, like we might suck at first, and that's fine. Would you go find a baby that's learning how to walk and ridicule them and be like, you suck, sit down? No, that's psycho because you recognize that the baby is learning a new skill that they have
Right.
never done before. You know what I mean? So be gentle on yourself. Um, yeah.
That's man. I love your analogies. um, I know you've mentioned at least 3 books in our time together, but Wilson asked, what books would you recommend as an avid reader? So would you mind recapping those and adding anything that you may have missed earlier?
Oh gosh, yeah. Um, and there's a question over here that I want to address before we end. So just so I don't
Okay.
forget. So the books I would recommend are B, just the letters BE, like to be, by Jessica Zweig. Um, that's about personal branding, just fantastic. Really helps you examine your own stuff so that you can have, build an effective personal brand. I think the other book, it's by Heidi Grant Halverson. I think it's called Succeed. And that's just about like really understanding how we think about success in terms of how we can be more successful, how we can set goals differently, how we can think about the way we think in order to like hack success. Um, oh my gosh, A Happy Pocket Full of Money. I feel like that's a must read for all humans. Um, and the author is David Cameron Gikondi. Um, but something that he talks about that I really love in that book is like whatever you want to achieve or accomplish, help other people to do it first,
Mm.
and that's you'll get that back sevenfold. And I 1,000% believe that. And it kind of ties back into like what we were talking about in terms of being of service to other people and putting your audience and the people in your community above your own needs. And that's ironically how you achieve, success.
Right.
Um, gosh, those are definitely like in my, especially a Happy Pocket Full of Money. That's like in my top five. I know Think and Grow Rich is also another good one, by Napoleon Hill. No, yes, yes, Napoleon Hill. I'll have to. There's so many more. Like I listen to audiobooks. I also listen or read physical books, but yeah. Oh, another good one, Presence by Amy Cuddy. If you suffer from imposter syndrome, which I think we all do, um, you can read that book and also watch her TED Talk. Like um, go on YouTube and type in Amy Cuddy. It's Cuddy TED Talk, and watch it. Like fake it until you become it is a real thing. Not fake it till you make it. Not fake it until you achieve the thing you want to achieve. Fake it. Do the behaviors of the thing you want to be until you become that thing. You know.
Mm.
Anyway, super powerful. But yeah, those are my top five ish.
All right. You said you had a question on your side.
Oh yes. Mac Digital Marketer asked, Barb, what's your favorite part of coaching people? And I have a specific answer to this. It's the same thing that I love about teaching kids how to build robots and all the fun STEM projects that we got to do. And it's hearing kids or adults, whoever, but hearing people say, I can't do this. I don't know how to do this. This is too hard. And then helping them reframe that belief to, it is hard. This is brand new. And then watching their paradigm shift and helping them through that process as they learn the new skill, and then surprise themselves by doing the skill and seeing how that light bulb comes on for them, and then they realize, oh my god, if I can do this, what else can I do? Like it just makes my heart explode because humans are so capable and competent, more than we even understand. And that's why I say, everyone out there, get out of your job if you don't love it and find the thing that like makes you feel that way, you know?
Yeah, that's cool. So I don't see any other questions on my side. Somebody asked, oh, yes, I do. The Millionaire Offer, is that a book that you,
Oh, $100 million offer
$100 million
offers
offer? That's right.
by
Yeah.
Alex Hormozy. So good. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so, Barb, I asked a lot of questions and I kept driving you. Is there anything you wanted to say that you didn't get to say? Did we not get to something that you wish I would have asked?
Oh gosh. No, I honestly like, because what I love to talk about, I think more than anything, is just how we all have this thing that we want to do or want to be or want to have. And then we have this block, this like fear or this thing that's stopping us. And that thing is often self-imposed because, it's something we think we can't do. You can do it. Like if I mean, I could just tell you the craziest stories of where I was and what I've come from. And if I can do it, you can do it. Like I'm just some chick. You know what I mean? And but it just I think what it boils down to is the decision to keep doing the thing until you reach the goal. Then it's like I love using this analogy. It's like divorce. Like I tell my partner, divorce is not an option. So we have to figure out not can we make it? Can we perpetuate our relationship? It's how can we make this work? So then you become really creative of, okay, how can I make this marriage successful? How can I figure this out? Instead of, oh, well, I don't know if I can, because now you're leaving failure as an option. And when you take that option off of the table and it becomes not, can I make this affiliate marketing thing? Can I make this online business thing work? But how can I make it work? Then your brain gets real creative and you will start to figure it out. Anyway,
That's,
I just want to include a call to action.
yeah.
One, if you're not already in my Facebook group, feel free to come join my community. The link is in my bio to join. And number two, I know some folks were asking about like what is PIB? That's passive income blueprints. That's where I am doing coaching now. I'm super stoked. That's what my buddy Russell is part of. If you don't already follow Russell, go give him a follow. You can, I think, click on his little name thing and just follow him right now without leaving the live. But check out if you are wanting to start or learn more about how to start your affiliate marketing journey, or start your own online business, side hustle, whatever you want to call it. I mean, truly, PIB is more, you want to make a change in your life. Go visit Russell's profile and click his link. And yeah, we'll see you on the inside.
Yes, we will. Thank you so much for being with us, Barb. Thank all of y'all. Be sure and stay tuned because we are going to go live again in a couple of weeks. I'll have another special guest, but I'm not telling you who it is yet. So,
Ooh.
ooh, the tension, the suspense. Y'all have a great evening, and we'll see you on the inside. Bye, Barb.
Bye.
Y'all are still there, huh? I know. I didn't know I was still live. So there you go. A first timer mistake. Now I've just got to find the off button. Uh, all right, y'all. Y'all have a good day. Have a good laugh at my expense. We will see you at a later time. Maybe there'll be a group processing later.